from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now, it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN television news for January 4th, 2022. Coming up in the news tonight, full reopening of schools come Monday, despite threat of rising COVID-19 cases and Omicron variant. Community testing to resume as Grenada experiences its second wave of COVID-19. Annual vehicle inspection begins with a warning from the police about automobile modification. Coming up in regional developments, more than 100 candidates nominated for snap elections in Barbados. And coming up in sports, President of St. David Cricket League looking forward to rekindling of the sport in the parish come 2022. The details of these and other stories are straight ahead. Stay with us.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Good evening once again. I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh with the details. All students across the country will be going back to school on Monday for the full reopening of the Hillary school term. The first week, which began yesterday, saw only students of exit grades attending face-to-face classes. But the adjustment comes following a meeting of cabinet in the midst of Grenada's second COVID-19 wave. Chrislina John starts tonight's newscast.
Minister of Education Emmeline Pear has announced that all schools will be reopened in full from next week, Monday. The new school term began on Monday and only students in exit grades physically attended classes. However, speaking on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night, Minister Pear says, as promised, that plan was revisited. A decision has been made to have all students return to face-to-face learning.
There was a decision made for the opening of school for exit grades today, Monday, and that decision includes the reopening of school to all other grades and forms in the following Monday. I also made the point on the following Monday. I also made the point that in reopening schools, partially or totally, we cannot just look at numbers of COVID-19 cases. We have to now shift gears into creating a balance between education and safety.
She says the protocols are in place to address the possibility of cases popping up at schools as people learn to live with COVID-19. Minister Pear was asked about whether the increasing numbers of cases could lead to a further curfew or lockdown.
think persons at all should be concerned at this stage as it relates to a curfew. This is not something that is being discussed at this time. Cabinet is more concerned about people taking personal responsibility for the actions. Whether you're a parent, you're a teacher, you're a student, whoever you are, we should not continue, Odette, on a trend of enjoying ourselves, exposing ourselves, being irresponsible, and then going on a lockdown.
During Tuesday's press brief, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles highlighted the facts that some students are falling through the cracks. Social isolation that now exists, he said, is doing severe damage to children. But education, he indicated, cannot be put on hold for much longer.
Us. There are countries that have worse outbreaks than ours, and schools are prioritized to open. The thing is, this thing is not going to change tomorrow. It may not change this year. It may not change next year. But our children cannot wait. We cannot suspend and we cannot postpone the education of our children any further.
The CMO says they will address whatever challenges that arise as the reopening of school is seen as an absolute necessity. Christelina John, GBN News.
Less than 6 months after Grenada experienced its first major wave of COVID-19, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles has confirmed that the country is already experiencing its second. As of Monday night, active cases on the island stood at 624, with the addition of 193 new cases. And this latest onslaught is posing a challenge when it comes to testing. Gerard Joseph has that story.
91% of new COVID-19 cases in Grenada were identified within the last 8 days, says Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles. While the current threat has not impacted the healthcare system, Dr. Charles notes testing has been stretched as many citizens are coming forward to know their status. The acting CMO says they will soon resume testing in various communities via volunteers, as was done during the first wave.
Because as you would recall, part of our success in handling the previous wave was that we were able to attract a large number of volunteers to assist us in going out there and doing testing, especially on weekends in communities. So we are currently engaged in bringing that structure back together and getting those activities going.
Health Minister Nicholas still impresses that such testing may begin as soon as Wednesday. Meanwhile, Dr. Sean Charles says the ease of transmission from person to person from Omicron, thus making it the dominant variant in Grenada and increasing the need for testing. The CMO adds that the incubation period for the new variant is also shorter than the original virus as well as the Delta variant.
Initially, the incubation period for the COVID virus used to be around, average around maybe 5-6 days. All right, original strain. Of course, the full duration is between 2 to 14 days. Then with Delta, that incubation period had shortened a bit. So on average was around 4 days. With Omicron, it's appearing between 2 to 4 days.
He warns that positive individuals will get sicker faster, though displaying milder symptoms, as the time frame from being exposed to becoming infected and showing symptoms is now shorter.
This variant is able to infect anyone. So it is able to infect the unvaccinated, and it has been shown to cause what we call breakthrough infection in persons who are vaccinated. Now, the cause, or what an explanation for this, it could be as a result of waning immunity, but it could be as a result of the virus acquiring certain traits, certain characteristics that makes it get around the immune protection.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, Dr. Charles is reaffirming the Ministry of Health's commitment to carry out testing locally, as he notes the increased demand following a social festive season. Gerard Joseph once again.
Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles is admonishing citizens to not to rush to get tested for COVID-19 despite realizing that they may or surely have been in contact with a positive case of the deadly virus. Noting that testing, whether free to the public or paid for individuals wishing to travel, is available at all the health centers, majority of medical stations and hospitals.
Now, when do you test? So I was exposed to someone yesterday or the day before. When should I go get a test? Persons are advised to go out and get tested between 5 to 7 days after they were exposed to a case.
Dr. Charles says this does not apply if an individual is already displaying symptoms.
However, if you develop symptoms, you should go get tested immediately. All right, or as soon as possible.
The medical doctor impresses that rushing to get tested will hinder an individual from getting a proper result as to their status.
So if you arrived in work this morning and you spent 2-3 hours and you just learned that the person sitting next to you was diagnosed, tested positive, you don't run to get tested immediately, because if the exposure just happened, it is pointless for you to be tested immediately. All right, it takes some time for the infection to develop.
The acting CMO notes that it is important, however, to get tested so that an individual has the information which can be used to protect oneself and others. Dr. Charles says that knowing your status helps guide one's behavior, whether they are negative or positive. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Vehicle owners are reminded that the annual inspection period has officially started at sites across the island. And major point to take note of is that modifications on your vehicles is a major no-no for law enforcement. Here's Chrislina John with that story.
Modifying or altering parts of your vehicle from its manufactured state is a no-no, especially when preparing for annual vehicle inspection, which began on Monday. Inspector in charge of administration and operation at the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, Rondell Batiste, explains that vehicles should be in right standing for the inspection process.
And as the law states, no heavy tints should be carried on the vehicle. So the officer conducting the inspection is supposed to be able to see through all the windows of the vehicle. Also, one of our area of concern is extended rims on motor vehicles. Show that the vehicle are properly clean from the exterior and interior must be properly clean. The engine must be properly clean as well.
The officer adds that for any modification to be done, a request must be made to the Commissioner of Police. Officers will be on the lookout for persons making adjustments to their vehicles after they have gone through inspections.
Tell you, rest assured that we will have regular traffic checks and officers engaging persons outside there with those intentions. What will happen, persons now will be served what you call a re-inspection notice. So from the time we identify that defect, you will be served a re-inspection notice to do that inspection all over again, which will be at a cost for the owner of that vehicle.
The licensing and inspection period for 2022 started on Monday at Dusty Highway St. George, Guelph St. John, Pearls St. Andrew, and on the Sister Isle Carriacou. Registration is now on for vehicles with single registration letters ranging from 1 to 2,500 and those with plural registration from 1 to 250. Registration for those vehicles is from January 3rd to February 15th. Chrislina John, GBN News.
This is GBN Primetime Edition of News. Coming up, major upgrade coming for Princess Alice Hospital. We'll tell you more next.
with Republic Bank. Light up your home with renovation. Light up your driveway with a new vehicle. Even better, light up the faces of your loved ones with a loan from Republic Bank. Get up to $50,000 unsecured. Reduce interest rates, quick approvals, and win cash prizes with Republic Bank.
The holidays are here. Republic spreading the cheer. Come on and light up your Christmas with Republic.
Make this Christmas your brightest with Republic Bank. Special terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
January 1947 saw the dawn of a new day, the birth of the Grenada Civil Service Credit Union, later renamed the Grenada Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and more recently, Ariza. Ariza is extremely proud to be celebrating this significant milestone. But this would not have been possible without you. And this is why we are inviting you to celebrate with us as we celebrate 75 years of transforming lives. Stay tuned to our social media platforms and our local media houses to learn more of the activities and events that we have in store for you. As we celebrate this journey, we thank all our stalwarts for their valued contributions in bringing us to where we are today. We look forward to serving you for many more years. Let's celebrate 75 years of transforming lives.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Light up this Christmas with Republic. Come on and rise up for holidays with Republic.
Light up your Christmas with Republic Bank. Light up your home with renovation. Light up your driveway with a new vehicle. Even better, light up the faces of your loved ones with a loan from Republic Bank. Get up to $50,000 unsecured. Reduce interest rates, quick approvals, and win cash prizes with Republic Bank.
The holidays are here. Republic spreading the cheer. Come on and light up your Christmas with Republic.
Make this Christmas your brightest with Republic Bank. Special terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Tourism officials say they are not daunted by the CDC's statement, which indicates that a number of cruise ships around the world are under investigation following onboard COVID-19 outbreaks fueled by the Omicron variant. Here's Chrislina John.
In an exclusive interview with Chief Executive Officer at the Grenada Tourism Authority, Barry Colombo, he says the main focus now should be on vaccination and protection. According to Colombo, there has not been any cancellation. However, with COVID still a challenge, things can change from time to time.
But I am not worried about the CDC. The CDC is doing what they have to do. They're putting a warning label on the bottle, and as they should. But I think that the cruise industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They know how to do the best protocols. They have all the people vaccinated, and I think that cruising will continue. And I think that we just have to do what we can to ensure that we have as much protection here as possible. And the best protection is vaccination.
The CEO says they are bent on sustaining the industry and that of livelihoods.
Latest advisory? No, not to my knowledge, no. I don't see any reason why, unless something drastically changes, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get the calls that we have been expecting. Don't expect any drastic change. We are in constant dialogue with the FCCA and other cruise bodies. In fact, later on this week, there's a big cruise meeting with all of the cruise heads. And that meeting is focused on safety, protecting cruise ship passengers and protecting the cruise ship workforce and protecting the populations who welcome cruise ship passengers.
Late last week, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, issued a statement saying some 90 cruise ships are currently under investigation and or observation. As a result, it has warned people not to go on cruises, regardless of their vaccination status, because of onboard outbreaks fueled by the Omicron variant. Christina John, GBN News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health Nicholas Steele says it is not their policy to refuse individuals who are showing up to be tested for COVID-19. Minister Steele was responding to reports that citizens are being denied by those at the testing facilities if they are not displaying COVID-19 symptoms.
Persons can go tested under the conditions that the CMO has just specified. And for instance, somebody who needs to test for travel is not going there because they're exhibiting symptoms. I cannot speak to what some individuals may be saying, but I can say by and large, in almost all of our health centers, we have been testing, taking persons in, and they've been getting tested and coming back to work or going into isolation with the results depending on what the results say. So no, it is not a policy to turn persons away if they are asymptomatic, because we've clearly stated here that this disease and this variant in particular can infect and someone who is asymptomatic can be infectious or contagious.
And now let's move on to some good news for residents of St. Andrew and surrounding areas when it comes to better healthcare facilities, as the Princess Alice Hospital is being retrofitted to house an operation theatre. This was announced by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Hannah St. Paul, in a recent interview. Let's get more in this Rena Per-Thomas report.
Patients and residents of St. Andrew will no longer have to travel all the way to the General Hospital to conduct minor operations, as work is being done to erect an operation theatre at the Princess Alice Hospital. This was announced by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Hannah St. Paul, who said it is timely as work is also scheduled to be done on the operation theatre at the General Hospital.
At Princess Alice Hospital, we have started construction work for an operating theatre, because one of our goals as hospital and community is the decentralization of service and access to care. So we believe that persons should be able to be serviced where they live, and we are now putting an operating theatre at the Princess Alice Hospital. A staff lounge is being built with laundry services, and we can appreciate that with the pandemic that we have just lived through, and that is would be approximately over $200,000 in infrastructural work that is going to be done.
The PS explained that for the year 2022, our department will place emphasis on the improvement of many areas within the healthcare system, which includes the implementation of telemedicine services at the General Hospital.
So we are going to be focusing on health promotion and chronic disease prevention and management within our primary healthcare setting. We're also going to be looking at our psychosocial support and rehabilitative services, and that takes into play the mental institution as well as the construction of our Carlton House, because our Carlton House would have been down for some years. So we are going to be looking at the reconstruction of Carlton House. We already have the designs, and we're going to be looking at that. All of the construction, all of the equipment that we have put in, if we do not have the adequate human resource, then our service cannot be delivered. So we are started engaging our DPA, and we are going to be looking at all our terms and conditions as it relates to our human resource. We have already started looking at training opportunities for our staff in order to have them fully equipped in order to be able to respond.
Mrs. St. Paul said the ministry is doing all they can to ensure that Grenadians can obtain the best in health services and care to maintain a healthy nation. For GBN News, I'm Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Here's Rena Pear-Thomas once again as she's been looking around the platforms.
The news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
With 90 cruise ships under investigation by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, this is likely to cast a dull spell on Grenada's tourism sector, as it has been dealt another setback. For how long remains unclear. GBN brought this story, and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Hanel Charles said, "Me love me country bad, but the tourism industry just cannot or isn't cutting it no more. We need to invest in agriculture. All that money can go towards juicing and gelling factories for our fruits, factories to produce our own soaps, body products, and factories in different parishes that will supply meat for the people in that zone so they don't have to come from behind God's back to tongue just to get 5 pounds of pork or chicken." Ralph Fisher commented, "Go back to the land when the tourists reach in Grenada. They have no money. They broke like me and you. We need agriculture and forget the new runways. People need to eat." Roland Gilbert wrote, "We just got to stop putting so much of our eggs into one basket. Come on, there has to be a way." Chase said, "Why the government have to build factories when citizens can do that? Stop depending on government." And finally, Sherilyn Natu commented, "Open up some factories instead of building hotels in the heat of the pandemic. Hotels in Manhattan where the rich and the famous used to stay. Homeless people, they let stay there." And that's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still ahead, a Riser Credit Union celebrating 75 years. Stay with us.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
say they care. And then there is Jediah's Pharmacy, conveniently located at the front entrance of the Bruce Street Mall, right next to Ariza Credit Union. We offer premium quality products and services. And when you need us, we are there, offering you around-the-clock service, Mondays to Fridays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 7 p.m., and Sundays, 10 until 2. At Jediah's Pharmacy, we show care with a beautiful smile. Call us today at 440-5342. The number again, 440-5342. Happy holidays from the management and staff of Jediah's Pharmacy.
Welcome back. Looking back on its growth and planning for the future, Ariza Credit Union is celebrating 75 years of operations this week and has planned a year-long list of activities that members can also enjoy. Let's get more in this report.
The Grenada Public Service Credit Union was rebranded in December of 2016 to Ariza Credit Union as a move to capitalize on new opportunities to propel growth and appeal to a wider audience. In celebrating 75 years of transformation on Monday, Ariza Credit Union continues to evolve with the new era of time and technology with an aim to better support and provide high-quality services to its members. Past President of Ariza, Aga Alexander, gave an overview of the credit union evolution over the years.
The Public Service Credit Union, as it was then called, no longer the Civil Service Credit Union, appointed Brother Sion Alexander as its first full-time manager of operations in 1983. And was able, by 1990, to computerize its operations. The point must be made, therefore, that credit unionism in Grenada had its genesis when the Civil Service Credit Union was begun in 1947.
To celebrate this milestone, several activities have been planned for the entire year of 2022 that will benefit all customers. Chief Executive Officer Lucia Andel outlined some of the activities.
There will be several other activities throughout the year 2022. We'll have secondary and primary school activities. Members will be treated to a lot of tokens and memorabilia with regards to the year and all of the things that we want to remember. There'll be activities for our elderlies. We do not want to forget their contribution. We do not want them to think that they have forgotten. And as such, there are going to be activities that will involve them as well. We'll have family fun days, or a family fun day in every one of the islands. So we'll have one in Grenada, Carriacou as well. And other surprises which I don't want to tell you at this time.
Kimberlyn Ridges, former marketing and communications officer of Ariza, highlighted the aim and the future plans for the credit union in the future.
The goal is to improve really on the typical member service culture by demonstrating that we can provide more uplifting member experience. Taking the interaction from transactions to interactions. The credit union name Ariza was developed to sound like two words, rising and horizon. And they are symbols of reaching above, rising, and beyond horizon. To help inculcate the need for innovation and show members that they are the drivers behind the change and the move towards innovation.
The credit union held a press conference on Monday at the Grenada Trade Center to reveal all plans to the public. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
And now let's take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
This pumpkin has been growing on a fence, and that's according to a citizen journalist. Pumpkins grown conventionally lie on bare ground as they grow. However, this pumpkin made its home on the fence. Our citizen journalist noted that he has been growing there for a few months, and they were quite fascinated that it did not fall. We thank our ISA reporter for this extraordinary submission. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. Coming up next, your weather report and forecast, followed by sports and our probe around the globe.
Gifts of love with dread, bringing love for you this game. Communion show with that weekend, with gifts of love with dread.
We're bringing you gifts of love with cheer at the communal. This Christmas, we are your Santa. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love. Get in on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2022. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2022. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Communion show with that weekend.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
This is your public weather forecast, valid for tonight and the next 3 days. The minimum temperature tonight, 24.5 degrees Celsius. The weather will be partly cloudy with light isolated showers. Winds will be east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas will be moderate with waves 5 to 7 feet in open waters. Tides will be low at midnight and high at 6 a.m. On Wednesday, sunrise is at 29 minutes after 6 and sunset 4 minutes to 6. It will be mostly fair with light morning showers. Then on Thursday, sunrise 6:30 a.m., sunset 5:57 p.m. It will be mostly fair with light morning showers. Then on Friday, sunrise and sunset 6:30 and 5:57 respectively. The weather will be mostly fair. And that's your public weather forecast for the state of Grenada. Stay tuned. Sports is next. Good evening, sporting fans. Let's bowl off with cricket. President of the St. David Cricket League, Raphael Crony, says despite the last 2 years having been very challenging, the development of cricket in the parish has been on the uptick previously. Mr. Crony says as sports resume, they will be seeking to rekindle their performances at all age-level competitions, as well as host more tournaments within the parish.
And we have been able to do that for 2 years, including winning each department. And in 2018, I think, was one of our better years, where we had the under-15, under-19, and senior national championships. So, with that said, I must say that it has been good right up to 2019, when St. David's have been doing very well. As I said before, some challenges in terms of having cricket, and I guess not only in St. David's, but throughout the island in terms of the challenges we have faced with the pandemic.
He says in recent years, the love for cricket has grown enormously in St. David.
Very popular. I must say that when you look at the whole islandscape, one would want to say that St. David's really has been a mecca, in that a number of our players have represented the Grenada team. Some have gone on to the Winwoods team. Some have gone on to the West Indies team, like Andrew Fletcher. So I must say that St. David's have been doing very well in terms of cricket for the last few years.
The St. David Cricket League president notes that having an international player like Andre Fletcher represent the parish has done wonders for St. David cricket.
And I must say he's doing his bit for cricket. He has contributed to the Grenada Cricket Association at the national under-15 level. He actually would have sponsored the under-15 tournament for a number of years, and he continued to make his contribution. And I know that he will continue to contribute in St. David's. And what we are seeing here this morning is just an indication of his love, his commitment to the parish.
Still in cricket, a magnificent bowling performance led West Indies Rising Stars under-19s to a superb victory over South Africa under-19s in the final Youth ODI on Monday. With the series on the line, the home side were bowled out for 126, but they rebounded in spectacular fashion and dismissed the visitors for 107 off 23.5 overs to record a comfortable win and level the 4-match series 2-all. The bowling attack was led by the fast bowling of Johan Lane, who took 3 for 34. Earlier in the day, Grenada's Teddy Bishop stood out with a bat, scoring a polished 43 off 46 balls, which included 6 boundaries. It was a pleasing end to the series, and the Windies will now head to Guyana for the start of the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup tournament with confidence. Cricket West Indies will host the 14th edition of the Under-19 World Cup for the first time ever, as the event will see 16 teams traveling to the Caribbean to compete in 48 matches from next week Friday to February 5th across 4 host countries. The 16 teams competing will see current holders Bangladesh, England, Canada and the United Arab Emirates form Group A, with Uganda placed in Group B alongside India, South Africa and Ireland. Group C comprises Pakistan, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe and Papua New Guinea, and Group D sees hosts West Indies, Australia, Sri Lanka and Scotland. The 4 host countries have been confirmed as Antigua, Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis and Trinidad and Tobago, with 10 venues hosting matches. And in tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic will defend his Australian Open title later this month after receiving a medical exemption from having a COVID-19 vaccination. All players and staff at the tournament must be vaccinated or have an exemption granted by an expert independent panel. Djokovic, a 9-time Australian Open winner, has not spoken publicly about his vaccination status. The tournament begins in Melbourne on January 17th. Earlier this week, Australian Open chief Craig Tiley said some unvaccinated players had been granted exemptions to play in the year's first Grand Slam. Applications for medical exemptions are being assessed anonymously by 2 separate panels, with inflammatory cardiac illness or another acute condition listed as valid reasons. But it is also possible Djokovic has recently tested positive for COVID-19, which would allow him to defer taking the vaccine. And that's sports for now. Regional and international news are up next. Tonight's One Caribbean Hookup begins with news that Barbados' two major political parties have nominated 60 candidates to contest the January 19th snap general elections announced by Prime Minister Mia Mottley last week. As the supervisor of elections, Angela Taylor, said Monday's nomination day went smoothly. Details from Barbados Today.
A total of 108 candidates from several parties and 9 independents will contest the January 19th general election, the outcome of which party leaders say will be crucial to Barbados overcoming the challenges ahead. The final tally was reported by election authorities. Supervisor of elections, Angela Taylor, meantime told Barbados Today that Monday's nomination day process went well. Among those filing nomination papers amid COVID-19 restrictions were Prime Minister and leader of the Barbados Labour Party, Mia Mottley, Democratic Labour Party leader, Verla de Pisa, and leader of the Alliance Party for Progress, Bishop Joseph Atherley. The Barbados Labour Party and the Democratic Labour Party are both fielding a full slate of 30 candidates, while the Alliance Party for Progress has nominated a total of 20 candidates. The Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. James South, Dr. Ronnie Yearwood, has expressed concerns by suggestions that COVID-19 infected persons will not be able to vote in the upcoming January 19 general election. Dr. Yearwood believes the restriction does not augur well for a democracy, and he has suggested that affected voters may have legal recourse on the election laws and the Constitution. Meantime, a veteran politician, Dr. David Estwick, who filed his nomination for the St. Philip West constituency, said such a decision would disenfranchise voters.
If we've been battling with COVID for 2 years, essentially for 2 years, I believe very strongly we would have had ample time to have planned out a better system that utilized proper technology and utilize proper administrative approaches to not disenfranchise a voter in this country who is mentally competent, can walk, can talk, can hear and see. So for me, that is a form of voter suppression. And I feel very strongly that there's technologies that will allow those types of persons who are not incapacitated to utilize the technology to vote. We need to wake up and understand that's what's been happening around the world.
Dr. Estwick contended that the situation was as a result of poor management.
In Guyana, it was mixed emotions on Monday as grade 8 and 9 students headed back to their classrooms after an almost 2-year hiatus. For many, it was good to see their colleagues again finally, but for others, returning to school amid the havoc-wreaking, highly transmissible Omicron variant was disconcerting. Details from HGP TV Nightly News.
It's been almost 2 years since grades 8 and 9 students were last fully engaged in the face-to-face modality of learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This hiatus ended abruptly on Monday as secondary schools across Guyana reopened for in-person learning from grades 8 to 12. Students from the Laban Intention LBI Secondary School shared their thoughts with this newscast on Monday morning on returning to the classroom setting amid the raging and highly transmissible Omicron variant after such a lengthy period at home. While some were happy to quit the online learning because of the difficulties associated with this learning modality, others were not so fond of the ministry's decision to put them at potential risk of contracting the virus. Kapil Singh, head teacher of the LBI Secondary School, explained that all 577 students on roll have been fully engaged as of Monday. Students from grade 8 to 11 will be attending school as per normal, Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The grade 7 classes, which comprises of 196 students, will remain on the virtual platform. Fifth form students also weighed in on the reopening of schools at this time.
We have protection here, we still have to be scared because of the variant.
Now, I prefer face-to-face classes because it's more efficient and so on. There are practicals and things that you can't really do over online classes.
I would have preferred online classes because it was much easier for me to do work and send in work. And I kind of learned better that way since I'm in a more comfortable environment.
It's good coming back to school because the online was a bit tough for us.
The Ministry of Education announced last Friday that schools will reopen on Monday, January 3rd for all students except grade 7 unless there is sufficient accommodation to maintain social distancing within the school. However, nursery schools with a larger population will continue online or have rotational systems if there isn't sufficient room to accommodate each pupil while maintaining the COVID-19 protocols, while grade 7 students will be engaged online on a rotational basis. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Alana Nadir.
And finally, internationally, torrential rain in Indonesia has forced more than 20,000 people to evacuate their homes as several districts have been inundated by water. Authorities said one child has died and more rain is forecast for later this week. Al Jazeera's Jessica Washington reports from Jakarta.
In Indonesia's Aceh province, days of unrelenting rain has forced thousands of people from their homes. At least 15 sub-districts are affected. Many parts of Indonesia experience flooding during the monsoon season from November to March. But some people here told Al Jazeera they have never seen floods like this.
This time it's really bad. We are taking refuge. Some of us are going to our relatives' houses because the water is up to 2 meters high in our homes.
Local authorities are providing food and other essentials.
We have resources in our warehouses and so far it's still enough. We're distributing it to the people today and tomorrow.
He says it is difficult to know how many people are impacted by the floods due to communications being affected.
The number of people taking refuge is in the thousands. We do have some issues because many areas are currently experiencing blackouts.
Thousands of homes have been damaged in North Aceh as well as a school. Many have been evacuated to a nearby prayer space, anxiously waiting for waters to recede. The head of North Aceh's Disaster Mitigation Agency told Al Jazeera the region has flooded several times in recent months and that deforestation has made the area more vulnerable to severe flooding. As people struggle to cope, more rain is being forecast for later this week. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.
And that's regional and international news. We'll recap the headlines next. And now let's look back at what made news tonight. Full reopening of schools come Monday despite threat of rising COVID-19 cases and the Omicron variant. Community testing to resume as Grenada experiences its second wave of COVID-19. Annual vehicle inspection begins with a warning from the police about automobile modification. In regional news, more than 100 candidates nominated for snap elections in Barbados. And in sports, President of St. David Cricket League looking forward to rekindling of the sport in the parish come 2022. That's the end of GBN News for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your night.